Okay, well, this time around, we are going to discuss when feelings start making leadership decisions. That's our essay this week. And leadership gets harder when you're letting what's happening on the inside of you determine what's happening around you. Um, it can be difficult, and we'll talk about some of the tendencies that we all have, some more than others. But and there's a little battle against those who feel like, oh, I always listen to my gut and the feelings are what's most important, versus the group that looks at evidence and what's actually happened, what are his best guess scenarios, those types of things. So there is a time and place for listening to your gut, but there are also a time and place where your feelings is just providing information. It's not providing instruction, which we'll talk about in a second. So what does this look like? Well, there's difficult conversations that you're delaying, the decisions that you have to make that are staying open longer. You've got ideas that you just haven't tested yet. You've got complaints, probably complaints, and you making those complaints. You think you're taking action, but you're not. You're just complaining. And this inaction suddenly starts to feel, or not suddenly, but eventually starts to feel reasonable. It's very we're being careful and considered, and let's go slow and figure it out. When really what it is inaction. You didn't fish or cut bait, as it were. And so that's really the solution, some of what you need to start doing. Now, there are 7 tendencies we have, or 7 places where we tend to get stuck. This is everybody, but we're going to take it from a leadership standpoint. One of them, see if any of these resonate with you. One of them is indifference, right? It doesn't matter. Who cares? It doesn't. I don't care. One, you should always care, right? But sometimes that's true. Sometimes you just look. I don't have a preference. It doesn't matter. You should probably, particularly if you're in a leadership role, find something that does matter and do something concrete. So never let indifference keep you from action. Do something concrete. The other one, common, is indecision, right? Now, this can feel like responsibility. Well, I'm weighing all the pros and cons. I'm listening to more advisors. I've got some more experts. I got to do some more research on that. But it's indecision. You haven't made a decision. So one of the best things to do there is to create a reasonable deadline. Just set a deadline, and here's the decision that we're going to make based on the best information that we've got at that point. Action. Take action. Another one is doubt. What about doubt, right? What if you're wrong? It's not a bad question to ask, right? You should be checking, not just steam forward all the time. But the way to kind of combat doubt is, again, look for the evidence. What have we done before? What have we done similar? Why are we doubting ourselves? We probably don't have to, probably know what we're doing. So use the evidence that's in front of you. Your doubt might be valid, but probably it's not. Probably you're adding some other things to it, like, for example, worry. Worry can make you feel like you're working on a problem because you're using a lot of energy when you worry. You're using a lot of imagination also when you worry. But worry is more useful if you can turn that into action. So rather than worrying, you should be asking, like, okay, what can I actually do about this? And pick an action and do something. And that action will give you feedback. Now, it might cause more worry, but it's going to be different worry, and it's going to be more informed worry. So again, we're having a bias toward action here. Another one is overcaution. And this is particularly for people who are, in the disc world, high Cs, or people who are very particular, or, care very deeply about the way that they look or something like that, but also just people who are very, very capable tend to be overcautious. And it's that perfectionist piece, or the analysis paralysis, whatever nomenclature you want to use there. Cut it out. Take your idea and put it in front of somebody. Actually field test it. Do a small pilot if you need to, or do a sanity check with a close ally, whatever it is you need to do. But stop being so cautious. Now, again, caution is good. I'm not saying throw it to the wind, but there's a time where it can be too much. And you know those times because you should be moving forward and you're not. So baby steps, do something. Another one is pessimism. You may have had it right there. Well, I don't want to do something because, people aren't interested, or we tried it before, or people aren't going to go for it, or the market's not there, or whatever it is, right? And pessimism often comes from people who are very experienced, right? Because experience can sound like pessimism. Yeah, we're not going to do that. Well, what they're doing is predicting, and it's a close relation to worry. But when possible, uh, don't predict. Just go out and find out. That's where manage by walking around comes in and stuff like that. Don't predict what people will say. Go find out what people will say. Ask them. Interact with people. Again, run the small tests. Action. It's all about action. So another piece of this, or the final one of these 7 sort of tendencies that we all have, and some maybe in greater proportion than others, would be complaining. Have you ever heard somebody complain? Complaining can sound very useful, right? Problems deserve problems are getting the attention that they deserve, and so you're complaining about it, and it feels like you're doing something, but you're not. You're just complaining about it. So I would say when you catch yourself complaining, now I'm a big proponent, and there is a value in venting, but you can't just come across it. You actually have to do it. You have to plan when you're going to vent and have it in a controlled environment, and so on and so forth. Highly regulated venting. But what you want to do, in my opinion, is if you're going to set aside some time for complaining, fine, get it out there so you can hear it. And then you have 4 choices: fix it, change it, accept it, or stop talking about it. Then you should definitely stop talking about it anyway, but, fix it, change it, accept it, or stop discussing it. Those are the options you have. There are plenty of options, so pick one and actually do it. And if you do that, you're going to start feeling a little bit better. Now, all of this, say in the leadership drift world, I would call this a weak accountability, because you're repeatedly allowing internal discomfort to interrupt follow through. Your responsibility is inconsistent. Unresolved issues are beginning to accumulate. So all of this can get kind of gnarly if you're not careful. So a few things that I would keep in mind: feelings are information, they're not instructions. You don't have to always follow through on your feelings. You should acknowledge them, process them, but they're not necessarily your instructions. And that is probably my grounding thought on that for you. So 3 questions to think about in regards to this. What are you feeling right now? So you can name it, acknowledge it, figure out where it falls. What does the situation actually require? Does this situation require you to worry or complain, or does it need something else? And what are you letting your feelings decide what you'll do next, right? So are you letting your feelings decide what you'll do next? Again, if you were planning ahead of time to let your feelings decide, fine, perfectly acceptable. But don't let your feelings run roughshod everything else. Anyway, that's all I've got this week. Hopefully that helps you and gives you some thoughts, and good luck to you.